Hey there, music lovers. Today we're diving into the life of a guy whose flugelhorn could melt your heart and make you dance at the same time. The legendary Chuck Mangione. Let's get into it. If you've ever heard that smooth, catchy tune Feels So Good, then you've already met Chuck Mangione, even if you didn't know his name. That song is basically musical sunshine. Chuck was born on November 29, 1940, in Rochester, New York. Yep, cold winters, jazz clubs, and family vibes. The perfect storm to raise a musical genius. Right, his full name, Charles Frank Mangione, fancier. But friends just call him Chuck, and soon the whole world would know that name. Thanks to his sweet horn and even sweeter sound. Chuck grew up in a pretty musical household. His brother, Chuck Mangione, is also a jazz pianist. Talk about sibling goals. Their parents must have had jazz running through their veins. As a kid, Chuck started out playing trumpet, but later he fell in love with the flugelhorn, kind of like a smoother, rounder version of the trumpet. And man, did he make it sing. He attended the Eastman School of Music in his hometown. That place has produced a ton of musical heavyweights, and Chuck was no exception. He soaked it all in. In the 60s, Chuck and his brother Gab started a group called the Jazz Brothers. Great name, right? They toured, recorded, and kicked off Chuck's pro music journey in style. After that, Chuck started working with some big jazz names, including Art Blakey and the Jazz Messengers. That's when people started realizing this guy wasn't just good, he was special. But it wasn't until the 1970s that Chuck really found his signature sound. That blend of jazz, pop, and easygoing groove that would take the world by storm. In 1977, he dropped the album Feels So Good, and everything changed. That title track, boom, instant classic. It hit for on the Billboard Hot 100, not bad for a jazz tune, huh? The song is catchy, uplifting, and weirdly comforting, like a warm hug in musical form. People played it at weddings, in elevators, in car rides. It was everywhere. And Chuck, he became a flugelhorn superstar, not something you hear every day. But hey, he made it happen with a smile and a signature wide-brimmed hat. Oh yeah, let's talk about that hat. Chuck was known for rocking this big, floppy felt hat. It kinda became his trademark look. If jazz had superheroes, that was his cape. And let's not forget his stage presence. Chuck didn't just play. He performed, he moved, he grooved, and he smiled like he was having the time of his life. Because he was. In 1978, Chuck composed music for the Winter Olympics. Yep, that's right, the Olympics. His piece Chase the Clouds Away was used during the games. That's pretty legendary. He also wrote Give It All You Got for the 1980 Winter Olympics. And that tune was pure energy. Perfect for skaters, skiers, and people who just like bopping around their kitchens. Chuck's music was all over TV and radio in the 70s and 80s. His style made jazz accessible. Not too heavy, not too soft, just right for the everyday listener. And then there's Children of Sanchez, a powerful, emotional album and film score. It won a Grammy and showed that Chuck could go deep and dramatic too, not just feel-good vibes. Speaking of Grammys, Chuck Mangione has been nominated 4 times and took home 2 wins. Not too shabby for a guy making smooth jazz with a funky twist. But awards aside, Chuck's real legacy is how his music made people feel. It wasn't about showing off. It was about connecting, about making people smile, breathe, relax. In the 90s and 2000s, Chuck slowed things down a bit, but he kept playing, recording, and showing up at jazz festivals. His fans never stopped loving him. Fun fact, Chuck voiced himself in the animated series King of the Hill. Yup, he pops up all over the place, usually with that hat and flugelhorn in hand. Iconic. His catchphrase in the show, Feels So Good. Of course, the man is that song, and the show gave a whole new generation a reason to check out his music. Chuck has always been about positive energy. No ego, no crazy celebrity drama, just a guy doing what he loves, making beautiful music and sharing it with the world. His concerts were legendary. People of all ages showed up. You'd see jazz heads, casual fans, and even kids discovering the magic of melody and groove. And he always brought the vibes, smooth solos, warm harmonies, and that flugelhorn sound that wraps around your heart like a blanket on a rainy day. Chuck Mangione also inspired a ton of musicians. He made jazz cool and emotional, not just technical. He showed that you can move people without blowing their ears off. Even today, if you put on Feels So Good, people smile. It's like an instant mood boost. Chuck basically invented musical serotonin, and the craziest part, that song never gets old. No matter how many times you hear it, it still makes you want to close your eyes and nod your head to the beat. Chuck's impact isn't just musical, it's emotional. He brought joy, calm, and nostalgia. Whether you were cleaning your house or driving down a highway, he was your soundtrack, and that's rare. Not every musician leaves that kind of imprint, but Chuck did it, flugelhorn in hand, with zero fuss and 100% heart. You don't need to understand jazz to love Chuck Mangione. That's the beauty of his sound. It sneaks into your soul without asking permission. He made jazz friendly, approachable. Like, hey, come sit down, relax, and vibe with me for a while. And honestly, we need more of that energy today. Even if you don't know his name, you've probably heard his music in commercials, movies, or sampled in other songs. His sound is everywhere, timeless and smooth. Chuck's still with us, by the way, quiet, humble, and still inspiring millions with that golden tone and gentle smile. A true living legend. So next time you need to pick me up, put on some Chuck Mangione. Let the flugelhorn work its magic. You'll feel so good. And maybe even do a little shoulder dance. All right, folks. That's the story of the mellow master, the flugelhorn wizard, the hat-wearing hero, Chuck Mangione, a man who made the world feel just a little bit better. If you enjoyed this ride through jazz history, don't forget to hit that like button. Subscribe for more musical legends and drop a comment with your favorite Chuck tune. See you in the next one.